Zealand Air Force is taking the latest rash of UFO sightings rather seriously. The Air Force has placed a Skyhawk jet fighter on special standby alert to chase any more UFOs that show up. A TV station said it filmed a UFO Saturday night as the object maneuvered around a plane that was checking a UFO sighting. The pilot of the plane carrying the TV crew said it looked like a very bright white light. What may have been the UFO showed up on radar screens in Wellington, New Zealand. A Georgia couple claims to have given birth to the first baby of 1979, and the papa has filmed to prove it. Dave Straub reports from Atlanta.
A proud pop here in Atlanta is believed to be the first to actually document the birth of a New Year baby on film and tape. Frank and Patricia Murray say they had no idea their first child would be the nation's first for 1979. But at 1 second past midnight Eastern Standard Time at the Kennestone Hospital in Atlanta, 7-pound, 8-ounce Christopher Michael Murray uttered his first sounds of life into a waiting microphone. Dave Straub, Atlanta.
The situation in Iran has taken a dramatic turn. The Shah, target of weeks of civil disruption aimed at removing him from power, personally confirmed today that he wants to take a vacation. And Shor Bakhtiar, the civilian premier designate, said he wants to form a new civilian government. Rain and fog forced postponement of the annual Mummers Parade in Philadelphia. It'll be held next Saturday. For the Rose Pole Parade in Pasadena, with millions in attendance, is going on in 50-degree California weather. This is information from Mutual Radio. I'm Kurt Henschen.
Keep track of the weather from inside your home with True Value Hardware Store's January Bargain of the Month. A Taylor indoor-outdoor thermometer for just $3.99. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you it mounts on a wall inside your home, while the sensing bulb goes outside, so it enables you to read both the indoor and outdoor temperatures at a glance from the comfort of your home. Get the Taylor thermometer for just $3.99 as the January Bargain of the Month while supplies last at participating True Value Hardware stores.
Breaker 9, this is KAF-B0012. We got a motorist in need of assistance at mile marker 332 southbound. Can you send a tow truck? Come on.
The truck driver. Sometimes he's helping when you don't even know it. So next time you pass one of those big 18-wheelers, why not wave at the guy behind the wheel? After all, he's a pretty good friend to have around.
Breaker 9, we got a power line down at mile marker.
This salute to the American trucking industry was brought to you by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company.
A monster ice storm hit Dallas New Year's Eve, and tens of thousands of people lost electricity. The Dallas Office of Emergency Preparedness, concerned with temperatures in the teens, threw open 3 shelters expecting thousands to leave their icy homes. Exactly 3 people showed up, and they weren't even from Dallas. They were passing through and had been stranded by the ice. In an understatement, one civil defense spokesman said, "We sure did overestimate the situation." That's not to say the weather isn't plaguing parts of the nation today. Winter weather warnings are up in Kansas, Missouri, parts of Iowa, Illinois, and southern and eastern Wisconsin for snow. And Jeff Behrens of the National Weather Service in Kansas City says there's snow in Montana and wind and very low temperatures.
We've got traveler's advisory for the eastern half of Montana, again blowing and drifting snow. And there they also have the additional problem of very cold temperatures and winds combining with the low temperatures to make extremely cold wind chill temperatures.
So as the homeward bound rush from New Year's traveling begins, the weather is failing to cooperate, posing hazards for drivers. This is Kurt Henschen, Mutual News.
A new government has been formed in Iran. The civilian who is now the new premier designate, Shapur Bakhtiar, announced that new government. The Shah of Iran has confirmed he will leave that country for a vacation. It's official. We now recognize the People's Republic of China and no longer recognize the government on Taiwan. Reaction from Hong Kong and our correspondent, Carl Strock.
If Chairman Mao himself had not once greeted Richard Nixon himself, we could suppose that the old chairman would today be turning over in his grave or in his glass box. The China watchers here in Hong Kong see the diplomatic reconciliation between China and the U.S. as only the logical outcome of Mao's initial opening, an opening the ramifications of which he himself could hardly have foreseen, the de-radicalization of China and now formal ties with the old capitalist imperialism. This is Carl Strock in Hong Kong.
And this is news from Mutual Radio. I'm Jon Bascom.
People like me who work for Avco Financial Services all have one thing in common. We think we're the best company in the world of consumer finance. And we think there's one thing in particular that makes us the best.
We have 8,864 people.
But in this town, AFCO's me.
We think we're best because of our people. Our people know this business. Our people care and really help. We know we have to treat you the best if we're going to be the best. And that goes for everybody at AFCO, including me, Wally Merriman, Chairman of the Board.
We have 8,864 people, but in this town, AFCO is me.
AFCO Financial Services. Our people put you in the best company.
The AFCO people in your town put you in the best company. For the AFCO office nearest you, look in the phone book.
Much of northern Europe was brought to a standstill this New Year's Day by heavy snow and ice. 30 people reported dead or missing in storms off the coasts of England and Spain. In this country, the worst ice storm in 30 years knocked out the power in Dallas for 100,000 people. Most of that expected to be restored today. Jeff Behrens with the National Weather Service in Kansas City tells Mutual.
We've had a lot of snow extending from the southern plains into the upper Great Lakes. The heaviest snow was over the middle Mississippi Valley, eastern Kansas, northern Missouri, and northwestern Illinois had upwards of 10 inches in some places.
Cambodian insurgents have captured a key Cambodian town in what some observers think may be the start of a Vietnamese offensive against Cambodia. New Year's Eve is a traditional time to be concerned with time, with watching the clock. But for Dr. James Barnes with the National Bureau of Standards, clock watching is critical on New Year's Eve. He has to add a leap second to the atomic clock, the standard for all time.
A leap second is put into our very precise atomic clock in order to keep it in approximate agreement with with time as maintained by the sun and the stars and basically the spinning Earth.
An estimated 1.5 million people have gathered curbside today to watch the annual Rose Bowl parade in Pasadena, California. You're listening to Mutual News. One thing new in '79, it'll be easier to get a divorce in California.
California's short-form divorce law, establishing a procedure for certain couples to complete a dissolution of marriage without a lawyer, goes into effect today. Those using this new procedure must meet the following criteria to be eligible: have been married less than 2 years, have no children, have no interest in real estate such as a house or other property, and have no unpaid bills in excess of $2,000. Pat Davis, Sacramento.
The House Select Committee on Assassinations is going out of business this week. Walter Fauntleroy, a member of that committee, says their report will be very critical of the FBI.
The FBI as an institution, as an organization, did not plan and carry out the assassination of Dr. King, although it is very clear that the FBI engaged in one of the most despicable and shameful eras in American history of governmental activity designed to destroy the effectiveness of a private citizen.
Honolulu began the new year just like the National Weather Service predicted it would, under a cloud of smoke. In a rather unusual weather forecast, the Weather Service predicted a smoky Hawaii for New Year's Day due to the absence of the usual trade winds and due to the tradition of exploding fireworks there on New Year's Eve. Fireworks have long been a part of Hawaii's New Year's celebrations, and they were last night. And the cloud hung heaviest, we're told, over Waikiki. Jon Bascom, Mutual News.
A new government in Iran, and the Shah takes a vacation. Premier designate Shapur Bakhtiar has announced the formation of a new government for Iran, and the Shah, emerging from his isolation for the first time in weeks, personally confirmed he wants to take a vacation. Meanwhile, thousands of foreign nationals are jamming the Tehran airport trying to get flights out. The mother of the accused assassin of Lee Harvey Oswald is happy the House Assassinations Committee concluded a conspiracy was probably involved in the murder of President Kennedy. Mutual's Randy Shaw reports from Dallas.
The 71-year-old mother of Lee Harvey Oswald has maintained for 15 years that more than one person was involved in the assassination of President Kennedy. She says she's delighted that the committee found a possible conspiracy. Mrs. Oswald, who lives in Fort Worth, says the panel's findings are a step in the right direction in determining her son was not the sole gunman in Dallas. But she says her son was framed, and we may never find out now who did it and why. Randy Shaw, Mutual News, Dallas.
This is news from Mutual Radio. I'm Becky Bailey.
Keep track of the weather from inside your home with True Value Hardware Store's January bargain of the month. A Taylor indoor-outdoor thermometer for just $3.99. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you it mounts on a wall inside your home while the sensing bulb goes outside, so it enables you to read both the indoor and outdoor temperatures at a glance from the comfort of your home. Get the Taylor thermometer for just $3.99 as the January bargain of the month while supplies last at participating True Value Hardware stores.
Breaker 9, this is KAF B0012. We got a motorist in need of assistance at mile marker 332 southbound. Can you send a tow truck? Come on.
The truck driver. Sometimes he's helping when you don't even know it. So next time you pass one of those big 18-wheelers, why not wave at the guy behind the wheel? After all, he's a pretty good friend to have around.
Breaker 9, we got a power line down at mile marker.
This salute to the American trucking industry was brought to you by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company.
A Greek supertanker leaking oil and gutted by fire has drifted out of control in stormy seas off the Spanish coast. Bill Kemlin-Jones reports from Madrid.
A Greek supertanker is drifting helplessly out of control in gale-force winds and raging seas 30 miles off Spain's northwest coast. The 218,000-ton tanker, Endless Papier, steeping oil from a huge gash in her hull, was bound from the Persian Gulf to Rotterdam. At 9 p.m. on New Year's Eve, explosions and fire cracked her hull. The crew took to the boats, which capsized. So far, there are only 2 survivors. One man, the chief engineer, remains on board the stricken vessel. Bill Kemlin-Jones, Madrid.
Now, the National Farm News. Agriculture Secretary Bob Berglund predicts that food prices will increase between 6 and 10% in 1979, and he says meat prices will lead the way. It's felt that a shortage will be the reason meat prices will increase this year. However, Tupper Thorpe of the National Cattlemen's Association doesn't think it'll be that much of a problem.
Beef production in 1979 might be down 5% from 1978. But this year's per capita beef supplies were the 3rd largest in history. All we're doing is returning to more normal supplies after 4 years of unusually large supplies and low prices.
Thorpe says he considers talk of $2 a pound hamburger downright silly. In a joint letter to President Carter, the chairman of the House and Senate Agriculture Committees have urged him to reject proposals to shift forestry conservation and rural development out of the Agriculture Department. Senator Herman Talmadge and Congressman Tom Foley believe such moves would neither make operations more efficient nor save the taxpayers money. There are fewer farms in the U.S. than there were a year ago, only 2,370,000 compared to 2,410,000. You're listening to Mutual News.
People like me who work for Avco Financial Services all have one thing in common. We think we're the best company in the world of consumer finance. And we think there's one thing in particular that makes us the best.
We have 8,864 people.
But in this town, Avco's me.
We think we're best because of our people. Our people know this business. Our people care and really help. We know we have to treat you the best if we're going to be the best. And that goes for everybody at Avco, including me, Wally Merriman, chairman of the board.
We have 8,864 people, but in this town, Avco is me.
Avco Financial Services. Our people put you in the best company.
The Avco people in your town put you in the best company. For the Avco office nearest you, look in the phone book.
This is Bill Groody, Mutual News.